All right, welcome to ISIS in the Bible, the Winter Gathering, week number 3, Breath of Life. The question for today is, what does kissed by the sun mean to you? This phrase is often used poetically to describe someone who has a warm, suntanned complexion, or to convey the idea of being favored or blessed by nature. It's a metaphorical expression that suggests a person has been gently touched or graced by the sun's rays, often implying a healthy, growing appearance or a sense of natural well-being. This saying is used in various contexts, from literature and poetry to everyday conversation, to evoke the warmth and life-giving qualities of the sun. Or maybe it has a deeper spiritual meaning. Glad you could join us today. So what's happening in the sky? All right, so we're just going to go around quickly. We do know that as we're having this meeting, we're being kissed by the moon and the mother, okay? Because they're sitting here right here at the 0 degree Aries. So it's a beautiful gathering that we have. And it's a beautiful alignment that we're aligned with what's happening in the sky. Like we spoke about before, Hygeia is aligned with Saturn right here in Aquarius, the forgiveness. The more and more we practice the forgiveness, asking for forgiveness being the #1 priority, the more we cleanse our waters. And I do it with everybody. Why not? If you're in my life, if you're in my vision, we've done things in the past together. That's why we meet again. So that's important. Again, it's in around Fomalhaut, the gate of self-forgiveness. Can't pass these gates unless we do that. Third thing I want to talk about, Ceres is about to line up with Rasselhaug. That's Ophiuchus is a serpent bearer, the one that separates the snake from eating its tail. In other words, us continuously vibrating the water with something that's not good, we got to separate that. Just like when I stopped watching movies that have images that are no good, I'm separating the snake from eating its tail, right? Because we're keeping that wave, that circular wave alive. And Venus is about to line up with Lesath, and Lesath is the tail of the scorpion. So stop the stinging. And then I just wanted to show you, people are asking me, hey, where is Pluto at? Everybody around the world's talking, all this changes because Pluto's going into Aquarius. Well, as you can see, what's actually happening in the sky is Pluto is sitting here at the first portion of Capricorn. So here, I'll bring this in. So here is Stellarium. You can go ask any astronomer where Pluto is, and they will show you it's here. Okay, here's Capricorn here, the way they got it written. But here is the beginning and here is the end of Capricorn. And you can see Pluto is in Capricorn. So no, Pluto's not going into Aquarius. What's happening with forgiveness and all that is because of all the other planets. And it's Pluto, it's everybody, it's everything. But they're telling you again not to look to the sky. And if we don't look to the sky, we're denying ourselves of who we are and where we're from. So as you can see, as of January the 17th, when I did this at 10:57 a.m., there's Pluto. Pluto goes around every 225 years. So do the math. 225 divided by 12. It's got quite a few years before it makes it into Aquarius. So there'll be a whole lot more going on there. All right. And then, like we talked about, Vesta is still going through the alignment of Orion's belt, looking for people to get a calling for being pure, a calling to be reverends, nuns, priests, but not in that sense where you got to go to a convent, but in your state of mind. Are you teaching others to be that pure one? So that's what Vesta's doing to many charts. And then last but not least, I just wanted to mention again, there are people that are getting skin breaks, just like as predicted. Somebody that started with shingles, one of our ISIS in the Bible group that reach out. her shingles, I told her, I said, Juno's going to go retrograde and yours is going to increase. And it has been increasing. I got skin breaks. Kathy got one in her throat because Juno was on her second house, which is Taurus. So she was getting like a strep throat, but she immediately put it to sleep with natural things. Organic ginger. Organic ginger is part of what the sun does. When you're using Mother Nature, it heals you quickly to use the natural things. So that was Juno. All right. So that's what's happening in the sky. So time for his astrology woo-woo, medical astrology. Today we'll be talking about, is it somebody that we know that was kissed by the sun in astrology? An old work friend, his wife was kissed by the sun, aka she left the visible recently. I was not aware when I spoke to him and I said, hey, please give her a hug from Kathy and I. He said, sure, but that might not be so easy. He said, because she left the visible on October 3rd, which by the way is my birthday. So I knew this for probably about 3-4 weeks now, and I didn't want to share it. And then I kept getting messages. No, she passed on my birthday, so I do share it. So I wanted to share with you that her chart and what was shown in her chart. I'm not going to give her information about who she is or anything because I'm just leaving that to privacy for the family, right? So this is what happened in her chart on that day when she left the visible. You can see that Neptune and Ceres, and then when she was leaving, Ceres transited this portion here. Ceres is you. It's not somebody outside of you. It's your own internal pure self saying it's time to go. We can choose to stay or we can choose to go. If we're not aware of what we're supposed to be doing and understanding that we are the gods and goddesses and we're in control of our vibrations, if we don't get it, then we could choose to leave if we don't understand it. I've had several times where I could have been taken out, but I knew that I could stay, so I stayed. I just didn't go into that place because you can drive yourself to go when you don't understand who you really are. So I noticed I used the Shen, because don't forget, this is what they use in the Egyptian walls for a name. They call them names of kings. No, they're names of the sun. So this is what it means by kissed by the sun, right? Left the visible. So her sunrise was December 22nd, 1958, and her sunset was October 3rd, 2023. One more thing I wanted to share, because this is an uplifting thing. Light-Music, LHM I call him, sent these beautiful mixes that he created. If you ever want to check out his website, it's got a bunch of music with, and I'll show you a little example here. So I'll add the link into his video, but you can see it, it's Cupola Kalasa Center. That's the website name. So I clicked on the one that he sent me. This is what the name is called. Titoka Otima, the Stone of Tima. And he did some really beautiful graphics with it. So this is what you hear. So I just played a portion of it, but I probably got to about this far. And after she said Anna Maria a couple more times, I stopped it and I went and looked at my chart because I felt this love. I felt this love wrap its arms around me. So I said, I'm going to go look at my chart. So I went and looked at my chart, and the ascendant was aligning my natal Juno, which is in retrograde, and Juno now is in retrograde. Wasn't at that time, and you can see Juno was descending. So the descendant Juno and ascendant Juno are all aligned in my chart, and I felt that love wrapping its arm around me. He sent this, and when I clicked it, this was in my chart. This ascendant will go by. If I listened to it 5 minutes later, it would have been over here. So I listened to it exactly at the time that I got this feeling, and I clicked on that music synchronistically to know that we are so loved. It's crazy beautiful. This is what the cardinal points mean, folks. So that's the importance of the cardinal signs and why they had cardinals at the Vatican. Like we talked about when somebody brought that up. That was Kathy. Yes, the cardinals are us knowing how to read the cardinal signs. Because like when you get that beautiful, beautiful, invigorating feeling and you go look and it's in the stars, you know that we are one with the stars. We're one with the light. We're one with every one of you, which is part of the sun, like some of you talked about. We're all connected through the sun, through the stars, through the earth. So it's beautiful. All right, Isis and the Bible gang. So here's another one. Just a quick mention, another skin eruption that happens in Iceland. Soon as Juno went retrograde, boom, it went again. All right, so she causes skin eruptions in the human and skin eruptions on the earth because we are connected, folks. The stars map the lands. We are one. So when we're not pure, the earth will erupt. We will erupt. We're going to be all pure. The earth becomes peaceful. The waters become peaceful. So this is what Kissed by the Sun. If we're too materialistic all around the world, we're going to get burned. We're going to fly too close to that sun. And that's why the earth is showing us signs. Hey, slow down on the materialism. It's a thermometer. It's our own internal thermometer watching all this, right? So thanks to the Earth Master, because I watch him. He's on top of what's going on with earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. Okay, I want to thank you, Sister Ziggy Star. She said, you're correct in posting the Sphinx is the marker. So I just wanted to talk about the Sphinx for a second. I've learned when reading an Egyptian word in English, if the word begins with an S, to drop the S. Well, S is the sine wave, right? S is the vibration. So it's a vibration about what? And then she said, Sphinx, you take the S away, you see phi and X. And in other words, phi and X marks the spot. Sphinx is the mark, is she saying. She's got a whole bunch of beautiful things here. You can go check it out on YouTube. I just wanted to focus in on these two. Because she then shared Isaiah 19:19. When that day comes, an altar for the Lord, which you know means ruling goddess, will be in the middle of Egypt. And a pyramid titled for the Lord will be near its border. So it's telling you something here. These are all things that, again, came from the Tanakh Bible and all the way back from the Egyptian walls. I go and ask the AI. So I said, can you now display Isaiah 19 in original ancient Hebrew from the Tanakh? And it does, okay? And it gives you the transliteration and everything else, but using ancient Hebrew. So translation, in that day shall there be an altar to the Lord, ruling goddess, remember the divine feminine, in the midst of the land of Egypt, and a pillar at the border thereof, explaining about the ruling goddess. The verse is often noted for its reference to a pillar or matzeva in the context of Egypt, which some interpret symbolically or metaphorically in various ways. And that word matzeva in this context is translated as pillar. In ancient Hebrew culture, it was typically a standing stone or pillar, a monument, memorial. This aligns with the broader concept of a marker or significant enduring symbol. Enduring, think of that. Egypt is full of enduring symbolism structures that we left behind so we remember who we are, connected as one with all the lights and the stars, which is what pyramids also represent in many cultures. Well, we know that we've shown you for the last 3 years that the Sphinx aligns with the Mystery of Alexandria, which aligns with the Phoenix Rising of 349. We leave Sphinxes as markers of where we're at in the ages and the clock of when we get Phoenix Risings, when we raise our consciousness. It's a marker. X marks the spot, says Ziggy Star, right? So she's absolutely right. So I had AI make this beautiful image here to show us the Meridian of Alexandria. So the Sphinx line lies right along that Meridian of Alexandria, which is 30 east in today's longitude, next to the Meridian of Greenwich. When you look at the word meridian, it's Mary and Dio. Dio in Italian means God or the sun. So it's Mary and the sun. So we leave this marker there for us to remind us who we are. And so awesome that she proved to us that Isaiah 19:19 is about, we're going to leave you the mark of the Lord, which is the ruling goddess that we know, right? Because we know that ruling goddess comes from Isha, from Sanskrit, which means ruling goddess. So we're leaving these messages behind. All right. A little quick section on Bible is from Egypt. So sun kissed by the Lord. The Lord equals ruling goddess in the Bible. So the book of Psalms. Ken Wheeler brought this up, so I'm prefacing with this. So chapter 113:1. Praise, I'm replacing Lord, the ruling goddess, because we know what that means. Praise the ruling goddess, you her servants. Praise the name of the ruling goddess. Let the name of the ruling goddess be praised, both now and forevermore. We leave big monuments knowing that we get induced by love. Here it is. From the rising of the sun to the place where it sets, the name of the ruling goddess is praised. So sunrise to sunset, there's something about the ruling goddess. We've talked about it with the Stations of the Cross. The ruling goddess is exalted over all the nations, her glory above the heavens. All right. Psalm 113:3. Because that's what we just read. Psalm 113:3. So Ken's video talked about the name of God, which is the name of the Lord in Psalm 113:3. He used God, but they used Lord. And where it's located in the Hebrew Bible, it's in the section of Ketuvim, the third one, in writings. So again, this was from Ken Wheeler's video, Name of God, Secret Meaning of. Great video if you guys want to watch it. So please translate Psalm 113:3 with the Hebrew meanings. I'm not going to read through all this, but you can see that the meanings are there from the rising of the sun, from the east, from the rising, beginning or the east, to the setting, rising to the setting, symbolizing a complete cycle of the whole world. And the last one there, it says praised or celebrated. Well, not celebrated, because when we leave the visible, we should be celebrating. We only celebrate when a baby is born, but we've forgotten to celebrate when we leave the visible, because we're going to be back, and we got to wish them well on their journey. The North American Indians do some of that. They help pray for them on their journey, but they're missing the fact that the journey comes back. We always come back. And then the last part is there is the Shem, which sounds exactly like the Shen, which is the cartouche, is in there in the Hebrew. That's why the Hebrew is the closest thing we can get to the Egyptian walls and means name. So from the rising of the sun to its setting, the name of the ruling goddess is to be celebrated. So again, we're going to just briefly talk for a moment here about the cardinal cross, because the rising of the sun, the setting of the sun, we get kissed by the sun in the morning, we get kissed goodnight in the end, right? So the breath of life in the Bible, well, it should be in the first section, because when we start our breath of life, the Torah is that, right? Look at Torah. Torah is where you get your tarot from, your tarot readings, the rota, the wheel. Santos Bonacci explains that well. The book of Genesis, chapter 2, is where the breath of life is. The Garden of Eden. Then the ruling goddess formed man of dust from the ground and breathed it into his nostrils, the breath of life, and man became a living being. And so Ken Wheeler says, the first declaration of a living child is to say the name of the Lord, ruling goddess, both the in-breath, Yah, and the out-breath, Way. So he's saying that from his studies of the Sanskrit, Prakrit, Hebrew, Yahweh means breath in and breath out, kissed by the sun on the way in, kissed by the sun on the way out. So that's when he says it's also your first and your last breath, meaning the same thing. And that's what Yahweh means. So, but we know that the word God, because he used the word God instead of Lord, but inside the Bible uses the word Lord. And we know God is the yin and the yang. The G-O-D is the yin and the yang. And the point O is the one in the middle, the all, the love, the soul. So we do this when we're born. We do know that the baby cries when he's kissed by the sun, when it's coming in. If a baby's crying on the way in, that means that there's a lot of karma still there that we need to fix, because the baby should be at peace when it comes out. And when the man leaves, so they're crying mama. When the man leaves, some of them are crying. So again, I never forget the day when my dad came home when my grandfather was passing away, his dad. And he was talking to my mom. I overheard him say he was screaming mama as he was leaving, screaming, crying. So that means he wasn't at peace with himself. He didn't know who he was. So you will call my name at sunrise and sunset. This is the messages that has been above in these texts, kissed by the sun. So now let's bring in the calm, crystal clear waters that we're working on. When you connect with the truth, this is wisdom, this is refuge, this is transcendence. To understand this is to connect with it, which is better stated as to understand love is to connect to love. Look at the glyph. Every letter is a glyph, folks. We showed this to you before. The L, the O, and the V, and the E. When you put the L, the O, and the V, you get the glyph of Eris, Isis, Madonna, Mictecowatl, White Buffalo Calf Woman, whatever you want to call her. It's pure love. It's that love that we seek. It's that feeling of that warmth that wraps around us that comes from that is in the sun. And the E, well, that's just the Fibonacci spiral. That's the spiral going in, right? This is on the Egyptian wall, the Fibonacci spiral, the spiral going in. And then we come out the other side and we come back. We're infinite. So there's a bigger clock upon us where we're kissed by the sun. We're kissed by the X marks the spot, phoenix rising, change of ages, sun. It's a new spring. We're being reborn. This is the true being reborn. We're being reborn while we're going through this life. It's beautiful. We're being kissed by the sun in this larger clock. Synchronistically, Kat shared another video. I forgot to put the name in here, but all of a sudden, this little image popped up of this woman. Looks like she's kissed by the sun, and the guy making the video was right there, so I thought it was synchronistic, and I would add it. So, Kat, thanks very much for sharing both your videos. Because now we're just going to play this little the video. I think it's going to make me leave. Yep. So we're going to watch it on YouTube.
Follow the sun, and which way the wind blows when this day is done. Breathe in the air, set your intentions, dream with care. Tomorrow's a new day for everyone, a brand new moon and brand new sun. So follow the sun, the direction of the birds, the direction of love. Breathe in the air, cherish this moment, cherish breath. Tomorrow's a new day for everyone. A brand new moon, brand new sun. When you feel life coming down on you like a heavy weight, when you feel this crazy society adding to the strain, take a stroll to the nearest water's edge. Remember your place. Many moons have risen and fallen long before you came. So which way is the wind blowing? And what does your heart say? So follow the sun, and which way the wind blows when this day is done.
Thanks, Kat. And forgive me, that's all we have for today.